All right, everyone, welcome to the call. We have how would I put it? Today's going to be a very informative call as we've had a very slow last 2 weeks in the markets when using the swing and sniper strategies. And I want to address some solutions to that. I want to address why that is. I want to address how you could possibly see more trades, different ways to go about managing your gearbox expectations and the reality, which is gearbox is not a very active trader. It is a software that takes very minimal trades on a week to week or a day to day basis. So, first off, I want to thank you all for tuning into the call. So, I know it's Friday. Yesterday was Thanksgiving in many parts of the world. For those of you who celebrate it. So, thank you for being on this call this morning with us, or if it's the afternoon, wherever you are, even some of you, it might be nighttime. Thank you for tuning in from all around the world, whether you're on Zoom, whether you're on YouTube or your Facebook Live. Thank you again for tuning in to this call. Now, before we get into all the data today, we get into questions, answers, we get into the week, the market, everything going on. I do need to first start off and set the proper expectations, and we need to read this risk disclosure. So, to get started, trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and it may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin and utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of your investment funds. So before you decide to trade the foreign exchange market or use any of our software alerts products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, your level of experience, and your risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest or trade any capital that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you do have any doubts. Auvoria Prime LLC does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading. And if you are sharing any results from using the GearBox strategy, which again is only allowed in our designated Facebook groups, please do not use the term company recommended settings. Auvoria Prime does not have any recommended settings. Auvoria Prime is not a financial advisory firm. Auvoria Prime licenses software that users can use however they want at their own risk and their discretion. Gearbox does not come without the box, or Gearbox does come without the box settings upon initial setup, which customers have the ability to customize their settings however they want. So again, you do get out the box settings, but you can customize them however you do want. Auvoria Prime has nothing to do with the customer's broker account. They do not solicit, they do not take investments, and no brokers are recommended. Again, Auvoria Prime just licenses software, and we sell amazing education that users can learn and potentially benefit from. And any settings that I'm sharing on today's call are developer settings and not company recommended settings. This call is for educational purposes only. So now that we've got the risk disclosure out of the way, I want to get into the market this week. I want to talk a little bit about what I saw. And the first thing I can tell you is I get a lot of questions regarding movement in the market. And when I say movement in the market, I get a lot of questions regarding this. And people say, oh, well, I looked at, let me pull it up for you guys. They'll say, I looked at the gear entry level data here. And when I look at that, I feel like I should have entered a pair. And they'll say I looked at. Let's say I looked at this pair and it moved 150 pips, and my entry is level 4. I don't know why I didn't enter. And this is one of the most common questions I get right now with Gearbox, and I wanna just kind of address this, how you can guarantee yourself moves, right? So let's say you did see that one of these currency pairs moved 150 pips and your entry is supposed to be at 138, but you didn't see a trade. You may be scratching your head going, well, that confuses me. So to kind of touch on this on an easy basis, Gearbox is going to go for the most accurate direction move it sees. So if we were to go study an account, so let's just click one of my random accounts here, and we were to go study this account, let's go to a more volatile pair, maybe like GBP here. And you can see we're on a buy 5 here. We could have entered a trade on GBP in this example, but you see that the sell is at -1. Okay. So this means that yes, we are in a buy, and yes, GBP is going against us right now as it's selling off. So we're continuing to get into deeper ghost gears. Now you may see a time where a move like this occurs, but you still see 0 and 0, or 0 and -1, or 1 and -1, and you may be going, well, why isn't it in a deeper trade? And the answer for that is that on the daily time frame, the most accurate move it saw. And when I say that, that means that sometimes it might be trading with the trend. So for those of you who aren't following, what I mean by that is, in this case, let's say GBP and the Ghost server was selling this entire time. Even though this move occurred, you may have seen that there was no high ghost gears open. And the reason for that is it was trading with the trend. Now, if you wanted to trade both directions in the market in the ghost server, this is the more risky decision. Okay, I want to put this out there before I get into anything. And the reason this is a more risky decision is the lower time frame always is going to have least accurate entries. But if you are wanting your software to potentially play both sides of the market, meaning that if this went this way 138 pips, or it went this way 138 pips, and you had a level 4 entry, it's going to enter, right? Whereas on the daily, it could not enter, being it may have been playing the other side of the market. So if you want to play both sides of the market in the Ghost server, meaning you want GearBox to hedge more in the Ghost server as well, not just in the real server, you're going to want to go ahead and switch to possibly a lower time frame. You could do a 4-hour, you could do an hour one. Anything less than a 1-hour chart, I would say, is going to be much less accurate. You will get more trades, but if I was really even looking to take that strategy, I'd stick to the hour one or the 4-hour. Now, again, I'm just throwing that out there because some people didn't see trades on Sniper this week, and had they been using, hour one or hour four, they probably would have seen some trades. But again, it was still also just a very slow week. And when I say that, a lot of my accounts have been stuck in trends that they've been open for the past few weeks. You can see here, I've been stuck in this Euro CHF trade since the 9th, right? You can see all my trades that I've taken that are new have come from that. Or you might see I got one new trade this week on this account on GBP USD, and this is a Sniper account, but it did get a trade, right? That's one trade I saw this week. That's brand new. Same with NZD JPY. I got some of these as well, but it's been very slow for some users on the Sniper and swing strategies. So it's very important that those people understand why that may be. If you didn't get any trades this week, if you've been running all week on Sniper, I think you should have received some trades. If not, we are looking into some investigations we've seen where some people have reported their UIs displaying only -1 and -1. We are investigating that. But I did want to explain that you can potentially play both sides of the market by using a lower time frame, which could increase your likelihood of getting more trades no matter which direction GearBox is playing in the market, right? So it doesn't matter if it moves 300 pips up or 300 pips down, you're going to get 6 entry. Whereas with the daily time frame, it could move 300 pips up, and you might have been buying the whole time in the Ghost server, meaning that you weren't getting into a counter trend. And when you weren't getting into that counter trend, you weren't getting into drawdown in the Ghost server, meaning you weren't getting to your Sniper entry. So the lower time frame will allow more hedging and more ability for you to catch moves no matter which direction the market does move. Now, all the accounts I do show you, they are all in the daily time frame. When I'm simply providing this educational experience for you, it is based on the fact that some people don't have the patience to go a week or two without trades, right? Even myself, I'm not. This week has been the slowest week and my highest drawdown week in my GearBox using experience. And I'll show you what I mean by that. For example, I have my 40K account here. This account hit its highest drawdown this week. You can see right now it's in a little over 7% drawdown. Okay, now what's so important to understand about this is there was a time where this account was not in that drawdown. In fact, these trades were actually at a profit at one point, and I could have closed them all out, but I'm using ghost trades plus real trades in this account. So I was in floating profit and didn't close many of these trades out a few weeks ago, and now they're still lingering, right? I'm still stuck in them, holding out on them. And one of the big ones I'm stuck in is NZD-JPY, right? It made a huge move. I've been stuck in NZD-JPY here. You can see I got 4 NZD-JPY trades open, and that made a huge move. Same with NZD-CHF. It seems the NZD pairs here had larger moves this week or the past few weeks, which has put me in a bit of a predicament on some of these smaller or larger accounts running the 24. I've just been kind of stuck in a consolidating period. And this is the same reason the new accounts aren't seeing as many trades, because when we go back to it, chances are you're on that same side of the consolidation in the ghost server. And when the market's not moving enough for me to get out of even these trades, it's not moving enough for you to get any trades. And you can see that it has been very slow for the market in regards to that. Now let's take a look at some other accounts here. We'll take a look at the swing account, my 10K swing account. It has also hit a new high drawdown this week. You can see it's hit an 11% drawdown. A little high for my liking, definitely, but it is a swing account. That's okay. Profit factor still good. Profitability still good. Still positive pips. Still more average win than average loss. That's okay with me. But as you can see, this account has hit its newest highest drawdown. This account's drawdown has actually so that's great. And again, these trades have been open for about 3 weeks themselves. So you can see some of these accounts as well have not been taking new trades. They've been, also in their period of consolidation, where we're just kind of waiting for some market movement to either get new trades or to exit out of current trades. Same thing when we go and study my $2,000 sniper account here. We'll take a look at open orders, and you can see the only trades it got that were new this week were ones that were either finishing, ones that were already open, or did get that NZD JPY one. It did manage to open one of those. Very impressive again, but we've been kind of bored, kind of stuck in this period in the market where there's not a lot of movement happening in the direction we want to. So for those people who are wanting to play both sides of the market, again, you could play the lower time frame. It's going to guarantee you more entries when those movements do happen, whereas the daily is always going to look for the larger movement and the more accurate opportunity. It just may take a lot longer to secure a trade, right? And GearBox takes a lot of patience. Now, I wanted to go back and study some of the one pair data. There are some accounts I still need to connect here, but I wanted to go in and study the ones we have here and kind of just take a look and a peek. And you can see, these are swing settings. So I'm running the swing settings on each currency pair individually, just so we can go back weekly on these calls and study and say, hey, maybe I should increase swing entry on, let's take a look, like AUD USD. Swing got me in a 15% drawdown on this $500 account, and I've only made 3%. Okay, maybe we need to increase the swing entry on AUD or AUD USD, or even AUD JPY, still 10%. We ideally want to say under 10% on these accounts to really justify that that's a good entry. Euro AUD, same. Maybe we got to bump that one up one. Euro CHF, maybe we got to bump that one up, right? You want to stay under the 10, right? GBP NZD, it has done 10% DD, but it's done 17% this month. Absolutely incredible. I've been very impressed with GBP NZD's performance on swing settings this month. I know on sniper settings, it performs incredibly as well. There's a lot of movement on this currency pair in general. It does move a lot. But you can see right now that drawdown's actually right now in real time on my GBP NZD account. You can see it's won all 20 trades it's taken so far. Pretty freaking incredible. It's got 1,000 pips. It's won 50 pips on average per trade of the 20 it's taken. So really, really cool to see, but still, swing entry, maybe still a little early. We hit the 10% drawdown. Maybe we need. This is data to kind of show you based on that strategy, or NZD JP thing has got us in 24% drawdown. So we got to take a look at historical data, NZD/JPY, and go back and say, why is NZD/JPY moving so much this week? Why? What caused this? Is this normal? Is this something we should be concerned about? Should we be increasing entries on this pair? Or do we remove this pair? Right? There's some questions to ask yourself when using the different strategies and looking at the data for how you want to manage your stuff. Now, I have, some of our phenomenal beta testers, and I want to share something. I haven't fully understood exactly what they were showing here. I mean, I do, but I want to show this to you. Some of our beta testers are very big on looking at data and sometimes coming up with different strategies for ways to get more trades. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up for you guys real quick. Just give me a second. And one of our phenomenal testers, he sent this morning in one of the chats. And it was him kind of looking at the data that I've displayed, and then him saying, based on that data, what he sees different ideas to be. So he was looking at, some of these different pairs and their swing DD. So basically looking at the data that I provide on those one pair accounts, and then based on that DD he saw, deciding whether, okay, that could be a swing account, or whether that pair should be sniper, or whether, a pair like, for example, NZD/JPY, that should be super sniper maybe, right? So studying the ones that are having the most drawdown on swing settings, the one with the least, and then deciding, okay, maybe this pair has swing, maybe this one has sniper. And this is a much more customized strategy. This is for a more advanced user. But again, for those people looking to receive more trades, if you understand the strategy or kind of what this person's looking at, this is what I designed GearBox for. I designed GearBox for people to look at data and to say, yeah, that makes sense, or maybe I should make that modification, or maybe I should trade this way, right? You have the full customization to make those changes. I simply provided the loader and many of these templates to be a base foundation for you guys to get your feet wet in using GearBox. But then the goal is to take that data that I'm providing and again go and say, oh yeah, AED/JPY on swing settings had the 10.9% drawdown on that $500 account. We're going sniper instead of swing, right? Or, be able to look at some of these things. Or AUD/USD at a 7%. Okay, we're going sniper, right? Anything over 5%, maybe. Okay, we're going sniper. Maybe in this case, they still stuck 5% in swing. But you can see the point is you have the ability. And I know some people may be asking me about the loader. You can load individual pairs with different. A lot of updates are coming to the loader soon, as well as soon you'll actually have the templates back in the templates folder of your VPS for each pair. So for those ones that don't load fully, or you want to individually change one pair to a different strategy, you're actually going to be able to do that very soon. I'll keep you more posted on that. I will be filming more videos for the EA Academy on that so that you guys can get informed and better understand that. Now, it's been a boring week. There has not been much happening. One thing we can go ahead and take a look at while we are here is, let's just go to forexfactory.com, right? Let's just take a look. We want to look at the news, take a peek at everything, see kind of what's going on here. See my internet's being a little slow, so bear with me. But if we're going to go ahead and we can take a look at the news, maybe we want to click out here and let's do for next week. So we're just starting Monday and then on Friday, apply settings. So we're going to take a look at the news here and see kind of what we have going on. You can see this week again, actually on Monday, we have more OPEC meetings. So OPEC, this is actually hopefully going to be very exciting for some of us. I know, 2 weeks ago, I told many people maybe you want to go super sniper or even possibly not trade because of OPEC. But the fact of the matter is, again, GearBox is designed for volatility. GearBox is designed for market movements and major red news folder events like OPEC, like, cash rates and different statements. The red folder news is really where a lot of the times you're going to see GearBox find some of its entries. You can see this week, even on Wednesday, we have Powell testifying here. That could cause some movement. right? So we want to take a look at a lot of the stuff. It is also NFP on Friday. So with NFP coming up on Friday, again, we're looking for a lot of market movement this week. So I think this week should honestly be a great week for GearBox and its trading, being all the volatility that I see with OPEC. You see Powell testifying midweek, and you have NFP on Friday. I mean, you got three major red folder news events this week that are going on. For most people, that might kind of scare how they trade with an expert advisor. But for Gearbox, I'm going to tell you that could be the best thing for us possibly right now, especially with the last 2 weeks being super slow and not a lot of movement. I believe that this week and with the news that we have coming should be a great upcoming week. Now, I want to get into some Q&A. I know some people have a lot of questions, and my goal is to provide the most education and feedback. So I want people to see success. I want people to see trades. I don't want people to be using Gearbox all week and not get a trade. Me. What does excite me about that is the fact that, yes, Gearbox is very accurate. It does take a very precise opportunity for it to get into a trade. But at the risk of somebody possibly not seeing a trade for 2 weeks, that doesn't also doesn't sit well with me, which is why I came in and showed you guys the possibility to lower your time frame and some of the other options that are available for those people that are looking to take on maybe a little more risk and possibly see a little more trades. But let's go ahead and get into some of the Q&A section in the chats so that I can best help out. Pascal said, hello, for 3 weeks, one demo and 2 real, no Gearbox trade. Is this normal? Pascal, I would say that is not normal. Maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, the past 2 weeks, sure, but 3 weeks, no. I know many people got trades the first week Gearbox came out. As well, these accounts have been running since October 27th, October 3rd, November 4th. Some of these accounts all started near the end of October 27th, which is about a month ago. So, and many trades were taken that first week of November. Matt Jazz says he has had 6 open trades in swing strategy this week, and 3 have closed. So, Pascal, for you saying you haven't seen any trades, I would go back and refer to some of the videos in the Gearbox Telegram channel or the EA Academy where I show you how to double check everything set up properly, because it sounds like there might be something missing still somewhere, maybe a box to uncheck, something going on there. I would take a deeper look. Stain asked a great question, and this is what I first covered when we answered the call. He said, I saw Gearbox this week on some pairs were on gear 0 the whole week, but the pair made moves over 130 pips. This was only in a few pairs. The rest were okay. How is that possible? And Stain, I hope I answered that in the beginning of the call for you, and how that is possible, where when you're taking a look here, if you're playing on the daily, again, you could be trading with the trend. So why that would happen where you keep seeing a level 0, let's say you were on a pair and you saw it on level 0 all week and it made 138 pip move, well, that means it was trading with the trend, meaning that if the market was going up, you were in the ghost server buying, not selling. Whereas if you had been selling in the ghost server and it had moved 138 pips, that would have secured your entry. So the more risky option, again, for people who want to see more trades, is they could go on a lower time frame where they're more likely to hedge or play both sides of the market since it isn't as accurate, and that would secure moves as long as the market's moving in either direction. Lisa, great question. She said, can you explain the difference between swing and sniper strategies? Just to cover it really quickly, Lisa, I'm going to give you this visual display here. And if we take a look at this visual display, what you're going to see is color coordination to the entries. So you'll see swing is blue, sniper is orange, super sniper is red. You can come over to these different currency pairs, and you can see this is where they'd be entering based on a move. So if we were to go to Euro USD, the default swing strategy is entering on a gear 2. That means that you really only need to wait 49 pips against you in the Ghost server for Euro USD to go ahead and actually take a trade using swing settings. If you were using Sniper, you're waiting 87 pips for Euro USD to move in one direction against you before you take a trade. if you were trading on GBP NZD and let's say you were using swing settings, right? In this case, we're waiting on a gear 5. All right, you're waiting at least 207 pips in one direction with no retracement on swing settings going against you before you take an entry. Or if you're waiting for sniper, you're waiting 300, or even after Wednesday, you're waiting 426. And I can tell you, I see this happen all the time with GBP, NZD, and Euro AUD. There's lots of times my accounts take a level 7 Euro AUD or GBP, NZD trade. So that's the difference between swing and sniper. It's just going to be how soon it enters, right? It's the different entry. So really just swing is going to be earlier entry, sniper is going to be the next entry, and then super sniper is going to be even more precise and accurate, waiting for a very, very precise movement to occur for you to get into a trade. Christoph asked a great question. He said, how do you get to a MyFX book screen like you have? What you would need to do is you actually need to group your accounts into portfolios like this. So really simple to do. When you click here, go to add account, you can manage your portfolios, and then you can simply just add a new folder here. And then you'll add all of your accounts into a folder such as this. So you can select which one they are. And then once they're all in a folder, you'll just go to portfolio here and you can click just right here, and it'll actually provide you all your accounts just like this with your line charts and all the data on every single one of them. Adam said, my account from Monday doesn't open any trade on Sniper. And Adam, I do believe that. I as well had a Sniper account that saw rarely any trades, if none. I had a brand new account I opened as well. Didn't see any trades this week. Some did, some didn't. Again, everyone's account trades a little differently. We are investigating into why some said they got stuck on -1. Brent, in fact, just asked a great question. He said, what is a gear -1? Brent, when you see -1 on your display on the UI here, that means that you aren't in any trade. So in this case, you can see I'm in a level 5 buy on GBP NZD in the Ghost server, but it says sell -1. That means that I do not have any sell open. There's no sell open in the Ghost server. So that's what a -1 is. It means no trade in that direction. I see a great question here. I'm just taking a quick read at it. Urban sent it, and he said it seems like this week GB would freeze. He rebooted before market opened, set all the pairs to sniper. He was observing all the charts on Tuesday. A lot of pairs were at level 1 and 2 and soon enter in trades. But then Wednesday, the market did move some more with the pairs. My level and chart was showing a lot of pairs with -1 or 0, like it would just start GB, and I didn't change anything. So again, what that's telling you, and yep, Urban, you're covering exactly what I've been covering here, and why the lower time frame would be more likely to get you a trade in this case. The problem, there wasn't any problem, there wasn't any damage. Simply what was going on, Urban, is actually the base algorithm was trading with the trend. So you're saying you saw on the daily time frame GBP moved around 200 pips the beginning of the week, and you only had a level 0 open. So what that tells me is that you were actually moving in the direction it was going in the Ghost server, and you were not going against it, meaning that technically the base algorithm was not getting into drawdown, therefore it was not securing an entry. So in order for you to guarantee a movement, no matter which way the market goes, as I did discuss, you could go to a lower time frame. It is going to be less accurate. It's the less conservative option. But for those people looking to possibly see more trades, no matter which way the market moves, right? Maybe you say, if GBP NZD moves 426 pips, I don't care if it's up or down. I want to enter a trade, right? Whereas the extra confirmation is the daily time frame, where it's also going to verify some extra things. And it may not enter that trade because it may have been trading with the trend. But again, on the lower time frame, you're more likely to play both sides of the market, which means no matter what way a currency pair goes, if it makes the movements it needs to, it's gonna enter a trade for you. So again, you can play the lower time frame, and you would be more likely to see trades in that example. And I think that's a lot of what we've seen the past 2 weeks is actually the base algorithm has been trading with the trend, which it is normally a counter trend trader. But the past 2 weeks have been very weird, consolidating periods, a lot of trades I've been stuck in myself for the past 3 weeks, which means they still haven't played out their larger move, which means that even in the ghost server, it's playing the same move, right? It's kind of holding the same trade. It sees the same thing that it's seen for the past 3 weeks and still waiting on those moves to occur, which potentially means that you're not getting into the DD you need to get into a trade. So yes, the lower time frame will help this. Andrew asked a great question. He said, I get the chart you keep showing for strategies, but what is the difference between sniper, super, and swing thought process? So, Andrew, the thought process is simply just more trades or less trades and accuracy. So, when we were to take a look at it, obviously a swing is getting into a trade very soon still. So, your risk is still pretty high on swing, being, like you could take a look at, let's see a pair that enter swing. So, NZD JPY, this is actually one we're having a fun day with right now. Okay. Yeah. We're only entering on a 2 on swing settings, or even on my sniper account on a 3, but this thing went to 6 or 7 right now, and I'm holding those trades, right? So even though the entry's here, it still took a huge move, right, past where I entered, and that means that you're in that move. So essentially, the longer you wait, meaning if you use a swing, you're going to get more trades, but you also could experience more drawdown. Using sniper, you could potentially get less trades. You could also still experience the same drawdown. Super sniper is going to be really accurate. It's just really deciding, okay, how little trades do I want to see? How accurate do I want them to be? And how much do I want my risk to be? And again, you could do something like what some of our users did. They look at my one pair data and said, okay, I'm going to run some of these on super sniper, some of these on swing, some of these on sniper, based on the data, to get more trades, right? So again, GearBox is customizable. Somebody could do, anything like that, and kind of really customize their trading experience with this data. So again, that's the difference in the thought process, is just the amount of trades somebody is looking to receive, their risk tolerance. And the reason I would tell you that swing is still a riskier decision is, even though it can take trades, let's look at NZD JPY. You would have entered here on a gear 2. And right now, if we were to look at my 50K account, I bet we would find that, we're in like a gear 7 right now. I can't see the comments, I don't believe, right now on these, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, we're in 4 levels, and I entered on a sniper level at 3, so that means we are 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're all the way to 6 here already, meaning that NZD JPY has already gone over 300 pips, right? And I entered around 87. So you can see that you still get in that move, whereas maybe you waited till a 4. Okay, now you skipped a whole another a large move. So it's just really the ability to skip periods of drawdown and wait for more precise accuracies in the market to enter a trade. Charles said, what is the lowest time frame you would trade in? And Charles, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, it depends on your risk tolerance. There are accounts that I've traded on the 1 minute time frame, right? Is it accurate? Absolutely not. Did they get great returns? Sure. Do they also get high drawdown? Absolutely, right? It's up to you kind of how you want to handle your risk. But as I mentioned earlier in the call, I would really stick to the hour or the 4 hour. If you were going to lower your time frame, I wouldn't really go much lower than that. Adam, great question. He said, when I send out my VPS, I did it to Europe, and when I open my VPS, I see it in a Singapore server. Will that be a problem to catch a trade? Adam, that is not a problem. Mark, great comment. He said, clearing ghost trades on settings changes. I understand why you might want to clear it, perhaps reducing starting lot, but there will be times at our risk that we perhaps want to make settings changes, do not want our ghost trades to be cleared. Do you plan to make an option to clear or not when changing settings? Mark, we are investigating what settings need to be reset when there's a change made, and which ones, if you change, would not reset it. So we are working on that and making it to where some settings you could change and it would not require a reset, and the ones that do require a reset, such as lot change or things like that. So we are investigating, we are experimenting, and we are testing with making it to where only the mandatory settings that are changed reset the ghost trades, right? So there could be settings you could change that they may not affect at all your ghost trades. Like for example, if you change your gear entry, that shouldn't reset your ghost trades. Right now it does, but that's not something that would affect your current positions, affect your current trading. You would just be changing where you enter the trade, so that shouldn't reset it, right? So we're working on finding out exactly what settings we can have not reset it and which ones will reset it, and we're working on those updates. So great question, Mark. Mariska, yep, you said it. She said, I have 5 trades on NZD JPY, started one on swing. Yep, NZD JPY has made some moves, that is for sure. So we're holding those ones together, Mariska. Do you recommend any strategy for a 1K, 5K, 10K? Vincent, I can't recommend anything to you. Simply what I've done is I provide data on all these calls, and it's up to you to kind of decide your risk tolerance. Look at my accounts, the data, look at other testers' accounts, look at other customers' accounts, and decide what strategy you want to use, or even customize your own strategy and build your own strategy. Like one of my great friends and testers, Dominic, designed this. This is going to become his new strategy, right? Where he's going to run some pairs on swing, some on sniper, some on super sniper based on data that I've been showing. So again, GearBox is fully customizable. It's really up to you how you decide you want to take those trades, how you want to manage your trades. Um, GD said, join late. So if already covered, I'll catch you in the recording. Has anyone else noticed that going into MD4 and checking settings, clicking the smiley face seems to reset the gear count? GD, yes. So anytime, this is actually in your EA Academy, we have a big note on it. Anytime that you do change your settings, or even just look at your settings, it's going to be best that you don't actually clear the settings. I'm trying to find my account. I have the settings pulled up so I can show you real quick. It's one of these. Here we go. Anytime you look at your settings, if you don't make a change, don't hit OK, just hit X. If you hit X, this will not reset your ghost trades. If you hit OK, it will reset your ghost trade. So in order to not reset your ghost trades, if you're just glancing at your settings and making sure everything's correct, just hit X. Don't hit OK. That's the simple solution for the time being to that. Johannes said, like, how do we customize the strategies for different pairs, like on the example? Johannes, this is actually a great question. And this weekend, I'm going to be recording new setup videos. I'm constantly filming new setup videos because we're constantly making GearBox more advanced, adding more ways to make it easier to set up. But I'm going to actually have 2 setup videos, Johannes, that are going to be filmed. I'm going to have one using the GearBox loader, and then I'm going to do a setup video where GearBox loader is not used at all, where I actually show somebody how to read this data and input it into each chart individually, so that you could do a customized thing like customize all your individual currency pairs to your liking. So I am going to teach how to do that so that those users who don't want to use the loader, or maybe you want to use the loader but you want to verify everything worked properly, I'm going to do a second video so that people can also know how to double check those things, and also set it up without the loader if they so want to. So great question, Johannes, and that video will be coming out as well this weekend. So look forward to that inside of your Auvoria Prime AP Academy. All right, let's get into more of the Q&A here. Jahanzeb asked a great question. He said, if I change the gear settings middle of the week, reduce entry from 3 to 2, will it take effect immediately or only be applicable to the new martingale sequence? Jahanzeb, first answer that question. Currently, it resets the ghost trades. So it would take effect immediately, but it would reset your ghost trades. So because of that, we are working on making it to where that does not reset for different changes, such as changing your gear settings. In that exact example, that's something we'd like to do. And he said too, and will change in settings in middle of the week refresh ghost trades of one pair where change is made, or start over ghost trades on all pairs. It will only currently restart on one pair, on the one you made the change on. So that is good news. He also said the Excel sheet with the gears, how does the counting of the number of times is done for the pairs? Was counting done of the number and price or one week or another? Great question. So this data on how many times these gears were hit, this is almost a year's worth of data. So when you look at this, this is about how many times in a year. Like for example, Euro AUD hit a level 7 8 times in a 12-month period in this example and data. So maybe Euro AUD is something that takes a trade every once in a while, a few trades a year you might get in your account, right? If you're using a super sniper strategy, or even a sniper or swing, right? You're not going to be taking as many trades. Same with the GBP NZD, where you might look and say, okay, it's taken, this many trades on each of these levels. So just good questions. Great question. I think I covered this as well. I said, what is this reflecting dashboard? Buy 0, sell -1. -1 means no trade. 0 means first level trade. He also said his broker has the following pairs marked as minors: Euro GBP, GBP CHF, Euro NZD, USD, Singapore dollar. In the screenshot for gear shared by Tyler, above pairs are not included. How GearBox will treat above pairs for setting perspective? Awesome question. I actually got the request to. I don't have data on those pairs because we had not ran the base algorithm on them. But what I am going to do is I am going to start a one pair $500 account on some more of those pairs that you just listed, such as Euro GBP, GBP Swiss franc, Euro NZD. I am going to go ahead and set up a GearBox account on those so we can start tracking some more pairs as well outside of the ones I already have data on, as I have had some requests for some other pairs to play around with. So I will actually add those up and add them in. Also, great question. Was what if I close a profitable trade? Will it reopen if the prices again hit at the same level? If you close a profitable trade, it's typically, depending on what you're doing, it should quickly plan to open another, depending on which trade in the sequence it was. Now, if it was your first level sequence, it'll open it again when it gets to that next, entry. If it was one trade of a sequence at the bottom, you closed, it's going to reopen it. If you closed a middle trade or a top trade, it's not going to close or reopen those. It's going to act differently based on how you close the trades out. So that's a much more complicated answer. When you say a profitable trade, I would need to know, is it a single level profitable trade? Are you closing the bottom trade of a sequence? Are you closing the top trade in a sequence, a middle trade, right? It's going to act a little differently depending on what profitable trade you're talking about closing. Zen Trader, great. He says, I have some questions. I noticed that I was in one trade, NZD USD, level 3 sell. However, on the chart itself, it says GBP is on a ghost sell 2, and it's in a loss right now, so it should be in a sell 3. Okay, Zen, this is a great question. I'm glad you asked this. I'm excited to answer this for some of you. So when you're looking at your displays for a trade, so let me go find an account here that I can use. When you, let's go find a pair I have open right here. Let's go to Euro Swiss franc. Here we go. Okay, and you can see on Euro Swiss franc here, I entered on a level 2, and you see a buy one open and a sell one open. Okay, so what you're seeing here is you're seeing the highest gear open in the Ghost server before it deploys in the real market. So because I deployed a level 2 here, the highest trade actually opened in the Ghost server is a level 1. So that's why you see 1 here, but you see a 2 here. This is the highest trade open in the Ghost server. So once you get to your entry level, it will not display a higher number, right? It's going to display the highest number in the Ghost server. So I hope that answers your question, Zen Trader. Let's keep moving in the Q&A here. I gotta find it again. There we go. Zen Trader also asked, what determines the actual take profit when it comes to settings? I understand using Ghost plus Real versus just Real. However, how does it actually choose the TP target based on number of trades open? Is the percent based on? So Zen, it's going to factor in a lot of different things. It's going to factor in your swaps. It's going to try to factor in a lot of different data in making its determinations in where it should set its take profits. But in regards to that, when it is deciding to set a take profit, typically, if you're just using real trades only, it's going to look to go for about, anywhere I'd say between 20 and 30 pips. Real trades double TP, it's going to kind of look to do the same. And then Ghost plus Real, it's going to calculate what it needs to do mathematically to make a profit on all of the trades that could potentially be open on your account, even though many are in the Ghost server. It's going to calculate like that. So Ghost plus Real is the only one that takes into account your drawdown in the Ghost server, and then real trades double TP don't factor in Ghost trades at all into the take profit setting. Zen Trader, how does the 500 pip stop loss relate to a loss percent of balance for that particular pair? Why is it fixed? 500 pip stop loss chosen for being stopped out. How is it related to loss percent versus entire balance each trade being open? Zen Trader, again, that's actually a personal preference. It's set at 500 because when you look at a lot of these pairs, that tends to be a good range to have where you can play in the market and not close out a loss. And that's why it's by default at 500. But some people may say, oh, I want to have less risk per trade. And you may set a tighter stop loss, or somebody may say, I don't even want to use a stop loss at all. That's all kind of up to you. But by default, it's at 500 to give people some room to breathe and to play around in the market with this strategy. Ken said, Tyler, okay to close out a trade if possible to overcome my impatience. Ken, yeah, if you have a profitable trade and you're tired of waiting for it to take profit, it is totally possible to close that out. Absolutely. Anthony C, I used 1,000+ swing double TP strategy, but didn't take in any trades, just ghost trades. I even switched some of the gears to above zero. Doesn't almost guarantee me trades. Is there a way to implement something to see when the strategy actually post trades are supposed to ensure actually our AI is running? Anthony, gears above zero isn't going to instantly take a trade. Again, above zero means you're still waiting for a 21 pip move to go in the opposite direction of the ghost trades. If you want to see an instant trade to make sure that you're set up properly, you're actually going to go to your settings and you're going to want to hit -1 into the gears above setting. So for those people, I covered this on one of my last weekly calls. For those users who want to just make sure you're set up properly, you could go ahead and put into your gears here, -1 and -1 on one currency pair. And if you instantly see a trade, you're set up properly. If you don't, you should instantly see a notification or instantly see a trade when you put -1 and -1 here. That's the best way to test to see if everything's set up properly and if it's working. So if you want to verify everything's proper and set up properly and it is working, go to one currency pair, put -1, -1 here, hit OK, and see if it takes a trade. And that's how you can instantly test to see that your gearbox is properly set up. Get back to the Q&A here. I don't know where it just went on me. Oh, it went to my other desktop. Drag back over here. All right. If you want to have just one pair set up on swing trades, Ghost plus Rio instead of Sniper, how would you manually do that? You just change the gears above settings and only according to the color chart with blue entries. Zen Trader, you got it correct. You would simply just match it up with your entries. And again, I'll be filming a new setup video on this and more stuff in the EA Academy for those more hands-on users. In one pair, there's no settings to check. How can I start gearbox on this particular? I'm not, Norman, I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. Norman said in one pair, there's no settings to check. How can I start gearbox on this particular pair as well? I'm not understanding the question. Maybe re-explain. This week in the same day, EA opens CAD, CHF in both directions. Is this okay? I use day one swing. Yes, that is okay, Matt Chaz. So what that would happen is if it was hedging in both directions and the market moved both ways, yeah, it can do that. That is possible and that is okay. That is actually you just seeing it playing both sides of the market on the daily time frame, which means the daily is, I mentioned, Matt Chaz, is the most accurate, and even it didn't feel confident in its one-way decision, so it's playing both sides of the market. All right, I'm going to continue reading in here. Mariska, great question. She said, would a slower VPS connection above 20 milliseconds have an influence on a trade actually opening on Sniper? I think not, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. Mariska, no, I don't think the latency would play any role in it. The largest thing that would play a role in trades not being taken is either someone not being set up improperly or their VPS entirely being frozen and overloaded. Those are really the only things. And some news for some of you who are also asking about when asking about VPSs or faster VPSs or solutions to VPSs. So you do know we are planning to add a button in the very near future, and by the near future, next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right, where we're working to add the ability for GearBox users to purchase an upgraded VPS from your current $20 a month one. I don't know what the new prices will be or what that looks like, right? We're still working on a lot of executive decisions over on that side to get things ready. But I can tell you that that will become an option in the near future, and we will be looking to offer, more advanced VPSs for GearBox, as it is very CPU intensive. That way, people can run multiple gearboxes and have them, run a little faster. So, all right. Continuing. Mersky, you did understand that correctly. If you check the settings on a pair, not changing anything, and hit the OK button, the ghost trades will be cleared. So the best thing to do is to just hit the X. If you're checking settings, don't hit OK, just hit X. We're going to be working on making it to where it will only reset on certain things, such as if you change your range or your starting lot size, or your range multiplier, position size multiplier, things like that. But if you change your max pairs trading at the same time or gears above, we don't want it to reset, or your stop loss rate. We want some of those things to not cause it to reset the ghost trade. So we are working on that as well. KB, great question. He mentioned one of our other EAs is a master going in and coming out of drawdown. He asked, how will GearBox manage if any trades fall into drawdown? If we fall into drawdown, will GearBox bring us back? Well, KB, this is a very simple answer, but also a complex answer, because, I can't just say, oh, yeah, GearBox is always going to clear your drawdown, right? Because no, that's not the proper answer. I have to get technical with you. But in how GearBox manages drawdown is very similar to the product you mentioned, being that, yes, it is a very great champion at managing drawdown and handling how it manages drawdown and its risk management. Tapuya, awesome. He said, I started an account with 250. I'm on Super Sniper Double TP. I haven't even seen a trade come in. Loads of ghost trades and messages and expert tabs on Sunday. I assume it'll find a trade at some point. And yes, you are correct. I'm actually going to give you an example and show you. I have a Super Sniper account myself over here somewhere. It's been running, and I'm going to go find it. If you give me a minute, it's one of these accounts. Here we go. The only trade I'm in, we just skipped back over it. Let me get back to it. The only trade I'm in on my Super Sniper account is I'm in a level 4 USD JPY. And this entered on 11/17. So you can see this was actually a trade that was opened last week. So yes, Super Sniper is waiting for very, very precise entries. And again, the past 2 weeks have been very slow market movement wise, especially on the daily time frame. Many people have not seen as many trades. You can see my Super Sniper looks ready to deploy some trades on USD CAD as well. Pretty soon here, we have a buy 4 open in the Ghost server as well. So again, it's all kind of representative of that. But yes, it will find trades. It's just waiting for very, very precise trades. Zen Trader, feedback question. When in a slower week, for example, middle week, you decide you don't want to move the gears higher by 1 from Wednesday and you change it for those, unfortunately resets those and starts over. Is there a future update that will prevent this reset of ghost gears on changing gears above? Saying, yep, Zen Trader, that's what I've been talking about. We're working on coming up with ideas on how to make it to where only certain settings that require it to reset the ghost trades reset it, and that other settings, such as modifying your gear entry, doesn't do that, as that is inconvenient, and I would agree with that. Gracie, great question. She said, how do you go and see your ghost trades? They're all going to be on your UI display right here. So when you look at your UI, you can see right here, mine says Ghost Gear by 4. So I know I'm in a buy level 4 here on USD CAD, and that's how you can see your ghost gears on each pair. Does resetting our VPS or software update reset our ghost trades? Can we get to the point when upgrades are optional? Edgerville, we're not going to do any updates anytime during market open for software. Going forward, we've created a software update protocol. As you know, we never want to update the software unless it's crucial because there's some dangerous bug or something, right? We never want to have to update someone's software midweek. It's always going to be looking to be updated during market close and typically before Sunday always. Matt Jazz, great question. He said, when I change from double take profit to Ghost plus real, there's no change in take profit. Matt Jazz, there's no instant change in take profit. There's something we're working on, but it'll only be effective on new sequences. It will not change your take profit on already open sequences. Vincent, great question. He said, what happens if I take a trade manually? Please don't take a trade manually on the same account you run GearBox on. That's your answer. Don't manually trade on the same account as GearBox. Mariska, great question. She said, I've noticed when helping a few people set up on GearBox, GBP doesn't get loaded correctly when using the loader. So every time we close that chart, reopen and manually drag on it. Not sure if others experience this as well. Will it be fixed? It's only that chart. Mariska, if you can get me some more data into even specifically what strategy and balance you're using where you run into this, as I have tested them some and it works. And I need to know exactly what strategy and templates are throwing this error so I can go investigate. If you could provide me that data, just shoot it to me on Telegram and I will take a look at it. Vincent, you're asking about a trailing stop loss, saying, is it possible the robot puts a stop loss at break even after a certain amount of pips? Vincent, we are going to work on adding trailing stops in the near future. Right now, they only exist on level 0 and 1. We do want to see how we can add in some more advanced trailing stop losses in the very near future. Daniel said, I have 2 trades open on ZDCAD. Buy or sell gear B level 4 and 5. My ghost gear says -1 and -1. Shouldn't I expect at least sell 3? Daniel, the reason you see that is because we did an update, and chances are these trades have been open since before the software update. So anytime we do a software update, since it doesn't clear the ghost trades, it'll pick up your real trades, but the ghost display will just display -1 and -1 since you do have open trades open. So that's why you see that, is just because on the update it cleared the ghost trades, but it's still managing your real trades. So that's why you see -1 and -1. It's not taking any new ghost trades because it's still managing those open real trades you had before the update. I just changed, see trades would show it. I just changed my settings to check if trades show up, and it did. If I change it back from -1 to -1 to do what I had before, we'll reset the ghost trades. Absolutely. So Tabuya, just go ahead and change it back to what you were doing. But I'm glad that you were able to see it instantly took a trade and that you were set up properly. That is the best way to see everything's working properly, is just put -1 and -1. Don't run the software like this, please. It's not designed to be ran like that. It's high risk. But that is your way that you can go ahead and see it instantly, take a trade on any pair. Millen said, if I make a switch today to another EA and I have open trades with minus CA20 and leaving it open, what will happen to trades? Will they be closed in profit if it's TP, or better to close it? Milan, anytime you switch to another EA and you have open trades open from another EA, you have to understand that you are running the risk of a trade being completely unmanaged. If it has a take profit and stop loss, then yes, if it hits the take profit, it'll close. If it hits the stop loss, it'll close. But what you would be missing is if it needs to take any new cost averaging attempts to potentially get you out of that trade, it will not take those, right? You're just going to have whatever trade you have open floating and unmanaged until it either hits its stop loss or hits a take profit. So you could close it or you could let it open. Again, that's all going to be personal preference and risk. Let's get back in here to some more of the comments here. All right. We start tracking cryptocurrencies. Johannes, great question. He said, can we start tracking cryptocurrency pairs as well? Are they more volatile? Johannes, I do plan on indices. I've been very focused on just perfecting GearBox currently with the majors and the minors, and really just having a perfectly functional product. But as we get there, which we're very close, I am going to start running more advanced tests, running more advanced things. So we will be moving into that. Ken, that is incredible. Ken said, FYI, Tyler, I have 100% success rate at the moment. I believe that is 13 out of 13 trades I've won. Thank you, Ken. That is incredible to hear, and that's what I've designed GearBox for, is people like you who really want to see those accurate trades being taken. If I change the time frame on a few pairs but not all, say 4 hours, that okay? And will it produce more trades? Robert, that is okay. You don't have to change them on all of them. If there's some pairs that maybe you go, I only want to play both sides of the market on GBP pairs, right? Because they're more volatile, they swing more, and if they do move to a level 5, I don't care what side of it is, I want to be on it, right? Maybe that's what you're thinking in your thought processes, and yes, that's okay. You can run some of them on 4 hours, some of them on 1 hour, some of them on daily. And yes, anytime you do the lower time frame, just understand it is less accurate, but you are more likely to play both sides of the market, which in GearBox's case means you're more likely to potentially get trades no matter which way the market moves. Are we able to trade XRP on the bot? Min, we have no data on it. Again, you can trade any currency pair with GearBox. You just really, in order to use GearBox on any currency pair, you're going to want to understand the average true range that currency pair moves. So you're going to want to study historical data and look at how often does it, make a movement for how many pips before a retracement. Okay, and where's the sweet spot in that to enter on average, right? You really want to just be able to study historical data and how many pips it typically moves. And then you can go look at entry level data and go, okay, it typically moves this many pips without a retracement. And then you can get in and you can secure a grade level, right? So there's a lot of data and understanding. If you don't understand what I'm saying right now, it's best you don't use it on XRP at all. If you do understand what I'm saying, data test your heart out, right? But do use a demo anytime you're testing anything brand new. Jonas, should we reset the settings for next week or keep things running? If we have trades open, if we don't have trades open, Jonas, you don't have to reset anything to keep things running. Just let her run. It's up to you. If you want to not delete ghost trades at the start of the week, you can do that. And it's kind of all up to you and your preference. But no, you can just run it how it is. All right. Confused. Sorry, I'm new. So Vincent, simply what a ghost trade is let's say I say, in this case, GBP USD, right? We're going to take a look at GBP USD. I'm saying I don't want to enter until a gear 4 on swing settings. All right. That means that I'm waiting until GBP USD goes 138 pips against my initial entry. And what a ghost trade would be is it would be these trades. So level 0, 1, 2, and 3, these wouldn't actually exist on my real account. These would exist in what's known as a ghost server. It's a notepad where the software trades behind the scenes, and it would take these trades behind the scenes, and then whenever it gets to a level 4, it would go, okay, enter that trade on his real account. So that's going to be the difference between ghost trades and real trades, is simply trades that are actually open in your account. So you can see in this example, USD CAD is on a buy gear 4 in the ghost server, but you see I only have a USD JPY trade deployed here. Alexander, that's great information. You said the GBP JPY loader problem is if you use the loader, the checkbox live trading is not checked, so it's missing the smiley face, and the other pairs are missing allow modification. You need to check them manually. Awesome information, Alexander. I'm going to go take a deep look into all of that. And then, Tim, anything special we need to do with GearBox with the VPS upgrade today? Nope, there's nothing you need to do. That'll start working as soon as market closes. Let me go ahead back into the chat. And Min said, when will this recording be on YouTube? Min, I know this recording will be inside of your AP Live Academy. So if you go into your AP Academy and then go to AP Live, you'll be able to watch all the live recordings from all of our developer calls weekly. But it looks like that is all of our questions for the evening. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this call, being with me on this wonderful Friday and taking the time, no matter where in the world you've been calling in from. I'm super excited again for this upcoming trading week. I'll be sending my recap out later tonight on how I plan to trade this week. Just know that I am excited about this week because I do see some great red folder news events from OPEC to, the Fed Powell speaking, and NFP. There's just some great, volatile events this week that should move the market and secure some possibly awesome entries for GearBox. So I look forward to an amazing up and coming trading week with GearBox this week, and I hope